to see it. Well, as I say, the euro at 1 month high at 132.5. Do we see 135 or a retest of 130 first?
I think we should fade around. I think 130 will come first. I mean, in the very near term, you could argue that indeed euro may squeeze higher, especially if the run of better than expected eurozone data continues, really combined with weaker than expected US data. We have the IFO, German IFO tomorrow, and all that. And all that could indeed indicate that it will be easier now for the ECB to argue that second half of this year really would be better for the eurozone, hence less need for further easing. All that said, the cyclical outlook for euro-dollar and the risks there are still firmly pointing to the downside.
The downside, but having said that, is looking pretty solid from a technical perspective. We've gone above all the major moving averages on the daily charts and above all the moving averages, the big ones on the weeklies, except the 200, which comes in about 134.
Yeah. Well, you do get the sense that there's a momentum, really positive momentum building up for the currency from the technical perspective. That said, I would still go with the potentially less supportive fundamental picture from here, and would think that the moment we get more positive US data, in particular, Fed tapering, really expectations of potentially further tightening in the global monetary conditions could be supportive for the dollar across the board and will weigh on euro-dollar.
And now the trade-weighted euro, you've taken a look at that. It's up almost, well, between 7.5% and 10% on the year. Will the ECB be watching that, do you think, and prepared to act on it?
Well, back in February, where we saw quite an extensive bounce in the trade-weighted, President Draghi was quite explicit, highlighting the risks between currency appreciation and disinflation in the Eurozone. Presumably, further aggressive appreciation of euro across the board could indeed put to risk the ECB's ability really to meet their 2% inflation target over their forecast horizon and all that, and could potentially be addressed by Mr. Draghi. What I'd like to highlight in this regard is that actually stronger currency is also part of the overall tightening in monetary conditions we've been seeing most recently. We had the 12-month, one-year forward EONIA really back to the highs from the start of July, just before the July ECB meeting. So all that could point at more dovish ECB down the road.